Jesse's officially a rot hunter.
Look at them. Oh, wow. They're moving their eggs.
While this layer is relatively solid, the plates are not. All right, as you can see, on Friday, we got the door in the hole. It's all flashed. Everything was tight for the weekend. It's Monday now, a completely different day, and we're gonna get the rest of this job put together. So as you can see, we've got our 3/8 back dam in place. This is just simply a piece of 2x material that I've ripped down with a skill saw. This is not my preference. My preference would be to install a slope sill, use a piece of bevel siding or clapboard to create the slope. We just don't have the height here in this existing situation, but 3/8 back dam is gonna create essentially a pan. And with a pan created, if or when that window leaks, because we all know that windows eventually leak, or there's two types of windows. Windows that leak and windows that are going to leak. With the 3/8 back dam, I'm gonna have a little bit of forgiveness. Even though I don't have a slope sill, water would have to build up over 3/8 of an inch throughout this entire pan before we had anything enter the house. And as long as I ensure that there is a positive exit, I mean, a way that water can escape at the bottom of the window, which we will ensure, there shouldn't be any issues with water getting in and out. Or, excuse me, water getting out. Hopefully water never gets in, but if it does, we're gonna give it a way out. All right, we have the entire window opening prepped now. We are ready to install the existing window as soon as we finish getting it cleaned up. And you can see any little pinhole that we had or issue we were worried about in the corner, that's covered by tape. Same with the other side. If you are legitimately concerned about it, there is other ways you can use your tape. You could also take a high quality sealant like Lexel, put a little dab in the corner if you just want extra insurance. For the most part, well, we already know water always wins, but if we give water an exit, which we're gonna give water an exit here, it's gonna go down, out, and away. It usually will follow the easiest path, so we're gonna try and make sure that happens here. Cheapest insurance you can do when installing a window, bead of high quality sealant in an upside down U fashion. Just ensures that if you have a failure in your flashing, you've got a backup. And I know there's people that would argue if you're tape flashing the entire window that this is redundant. And you know what? You're right. But if you live on an island that has a little over 50 inches of annual rainfall, you build in redundancies when you're dealing with water. We've already got one of our horseshoe shims in place, and we're gonna install another one right here. And what these horseshoe shims do is they create, wait till I'm done screwing, they create a little gap that I know is gonna be there. And that way, when this window fails, because we all know that it's gonna fail eventually, because there's two types of windows. Windows that leak and windows that are gonna leak. Water's gonna be able to escape. We're gonna ensure that this always has a path for water to get out. We're cutting our end dam, or well, cutting our flashing, our head flashing, so that we can make an end dam, I guess is the proper way to look at that. And I am good to go. I just got to get rid of this guy. only have these guys available today, so I'm gonna bend that part around first. And sometimes with this light gauge aluminum, it rips instead of just folding, but what do you do? And if I want to leave a full 1-inch end dam, I can just fold that back around. If I want to 45 it, I can, but I prefer to leave full 1-inch. Then I know that we're definitely going to function. We have our head flashing installed, and whenever possible, I take the head flashing and I somehow tape it, secure it, seal it directly to the sheathing. It gets a little bit more problematic sometimes if we're doing exterior insulation. This is actually one of the easier situations where we're just going right back to the sheathing. It just ensures that if somehow something gets behind the MyVest, whether it be from the door above or somewhere else off the side here, anything that gets behind there, when it hits the tape, as long as the tape remains bonded to the sheathing, it's going to kick out over. And that's all we're trying to do, is always give water a path out. Shingle lap whenever possible. Even with self-terminating tapes and some of the other flashing products we use, whenever possible, we're always looking for that just extra bit of insurance to make sure that water doesn't find its way in. And once we get this sealed off, we'll get this little bit sealed down and we're ready to continue siding. This gun is capable of bump fire. I just haven't quite got my rhythm with the siding tip and bump fire, so I'm still using it single fire for now. This stuff is slippery today, but as you can see, even using the nailer, it slides back and forth. All right, we've got this back together. Now, don't pay any attention to this temporary structure. We don't have time in our schedule. Client doesn't necessarily have the budget to rebuild this entire deck, and that's where we're at. There's no structural issues per se with the deck right now, but there's going to be in the very near future. Some of it's age related, some of it is how it was constructed to begin with. I suspect we're also going to find a few other structural issues with the house when this deck comes off. So we're gonna order some siding. Where the deck was attached to the house before, we don't have siding to replace that. There's no leftover siding. When the new siding comes in, we can look at coming back. This is probably going to have to make it through the winter, but in the spring, we can take this deck off, do any further structural repairs to the house, build a nice new deck that will be properly supported, properly flashed, properly attached to the house. And I think we might be able to reuse these concrete piers, but I'm actually going to dig down the side of one of them in the near future just to make sure they're actually deep enough. If they're not in the ground deep enough, no big deal. We'll switch gears because we're going to have siding on hand, and we will do 100% floating deck, not attached to the house. But structure's back together. This window's properly flashed. That door is properly flashed. And that window now has a proper sill pan. The door has a proper sill pan. So moving forward, there shouldn't be any water issues in this area.